What's going on, everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happening? You guys know who it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression podcast, brought to you by MSOTD Rocks, where rock and metal thrive. Wishing everybody a happy Tuesday on this November 24th day. Yeah, it's November 24th? Yeah. Wait, is it? Yeah. So, my bad. Forgot what day it was. But I've got a great episode coming up for you today. So this band coming all the way out of Illinois. So you guys know it's pretty close to me because I'm just on the other side of the state line. Got in the know with them after one of their press contacts sent me some of their stuff. I'm like, okay, let's take a listen. And when I saw that they were connected with Morgan Rose's Sevendust to produce some of their stuff, I'm like, ooh, let's take a look at this. And I listened to it. I'm like, it's podcast time. So please welcome to the show from the band Alborn. Please, for the love of everything that is good, please welcome Zame and Nate to the podcast. Are you guys ready? Because I know you're going to love this episode. So let's go. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression podcast, another fun band for you today that we get to talk to. When I was looking through some of their stuff, trying to figure out like what their sound is exactly like, I'm like, okay, someone send me their stuff, I'll check it out. And seeing that they worked with people like Morgan Rose from Sevendust, I was like, okay, if they're constantly working with this guy, they've got to have something going on. Listen to it, and I can't believe that we actually have him here today. So please welcome Zame and Nate from the band Alborn. So guys, welcome to the Chord Progression podcast.
What's up?
Hey.
How's everything going over there in the state of Illinois? Because even though you guys are both in the state, you're in different places.
Yeah, it's cold. It's really cold. That's all I gotta say, really. But
it's going pretty good.
Hanging. Yeah.
Yep.
So I feel the exact same way as I'm just one state north of you guys. So, woo. I guess I'll just leave it at that. We're living in the cold right now, but it's about to get a lot colder.
Go Midwest.
Yeah, go Midwest. Well, wait till, December rolls around. Wait till January. Wait till all of a sudden we get that quote-unquote polar vortex to come back, and we have to deal with all that stuff. We'll end up being like, oh, you remember when it was like November 1st and we thought it was cold out? That'd be nice.
Yeah. Winter is coming.
But just start rewatching Game of Thrones and you'll be prepared.
I only quoted that because I've been watching Game of Thrones today.
Called it. All right, but before we jump into everything, I like to always do this to start out because I always like to see what the answers are. So I want both you guys to introduce yourselves with your names, what you do in the band, and then my favorite thing that always gets people, to get the most interesting answers. I want to hear a little fun fact about yourself, like full on like welcome week of college kind of stuff. However, I want it to be the wackiest thing you can think of. And I mean, I've gotten stuff from just like people being like substitute teachers that are basically teaching kids rock music, just like Jack Black was in School of Rock. I've gotten Tinder bios. Those are always the ones that make me laugh, honestly. And I've gotten stuff like famous YouTubers before PewDiePie was a thing. So take it away. I'll let you guys start.
You go first, Nate.
Oh man. I'm trying to think of something wacky.
I mean, whatever comes to mind. If you can top something, if you can make me like bust a gut laughing, then you win. That's the best way to put it.
Oh, Zame, you got anything?
Only kind of wacky thing I guess I can think of is it's nothing like an experience or anything. It's my name, really. That's wacky.
Oh yes. Nice.
So
that's a good one.
Yeah, so Zame it's a nickname, really. It's a shortened version of my name. My actual first name is Zamiel, which is a mouthful, so Zame is a lot easier. And then my middle name is Moonshine. And then I have the most basic name ever, Lewis. So Zamiel Moonshine Lewis is my full name.
How did your parents come up with that name?
Yeah, I don't know. Some people think it involves drugs or they're hippies, whatever. I don't think they're either of that.
I'm just gonna assume it's involving moonshine of some sort because I mean,
it's good assumptions.
That's just what I'm gonna go with. But depends on what kind of moonshine. Was it apple pie moonshine? Was it just straight moonshine? I mean, you could go either way with it.
That's a good question. I'll have to ask them that sometime.
Like what was the actual inspiration? And if it was apple pie moonshine, it'd be like, was it good at least? Because I mean, it had been good if it was your middle. If they be like, it's got to be his middle name, so it's got to be good.
Was it worth it?
Clearly.
Yeah.
All right, now time to shine the spotlight on Nate for this one. All right, bud. You've had a little time.
All right, I don't know if this is a wacky fact. Well, first, my name's Nate. I play guitar and do the backup vocals in the band. I don't know if this is a wacky fact, but this is just a funny thing that happened in high school. So I had this phase where like I was super into cars and stuff, and then somebody showed me, me being dumb or whatnot. Someone showed me how to pull the e-brake when you're going on a turn, and do like the stupid thing. Like you think you're drifting, but it's not. So I was doing that in a parking lot, and then my buddies got in the car, and I'd only been doing it at like 10, 15 miles an hour or whatnot. And my grandpa had just bought me these new wheels for my car. They looked really good. And got in the car, and my friends are amping me up, telling me, like, you can do it faster, you can go faster. So we ended up going like 35 in the parking lot, pulled the e-brake, slid about 50 feet, and hit the curb exactly parallel, and it folded my tires in half, the rims on that side.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh dear Lord, Vin Diesel would not approve of that move,
No,
sir.
nope.
Oh, but it seems like everyone kind of had one of those phases when they were like in high school, like especially for guys like the kind of like car phase, because we kind of had something similar where like between my junior and senior high school, there was one strip here in Milwaukee where it's just like, okay, people would always go there just cruising up and down. And what always would end up happening was shoot, how would I put it? So like a bunch of my friends, they'd take their cars out and like it was just whatever we had at the time. And it's like, oh, one guy had like an 04 Chevy Impala, one guy had like an 06 Buick. At the time, I was driving an 08 Dodge Avenger because my dad's uncle passed away. No one wanted the car, so my brother and I got it. But my brother was off in college, so I'm like, hee, it's mine. But the thing was slow as all hell, so it was always funny because all the guys were wanting to go up and down and like try and like race as many people as possible. Me, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to race anybody because I was gonna lose every single time. But I did have the nicest car, so whenever we had friends over, everyone wanted to go. All the girls would pile in my car.
Yeah.
It was a win-win.
Who was the real winner there?
Dodge Avenger for the win.
Clearly it was. It's like everyone's like, oh, well, what's the name for your car? I'm like, it's a Dodge Avenger. No, did you give it an actual name? I'm like, no, well, it's got to be something cute. Like, what, Iron Man? Why? It's an Avenger.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what else to name it. Come on. I don't know where else to go there, but otherwise, it's great to have you guys here. Love the intro. I love the car thing because that just kind of brought back some of those great memories of just everyone just like zipping up and down the street and me just going like la 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 la. Just well, of course, while there's like 4 other girls in the car too. Just yeah, I'm definitely
just
winning
cruising. Yeah,
easily. I mean, I would try and pull the e-brake thing. My buddy actually tried pulling that a couple of times in a parking lot.
Yeah,
in a minivan.
Nice.
Oh man.
But he never went up to. He never got up to like a certain speed where it would fold over, like actually just tip over. It was like, okay, we're in a parking lot. It's snowing outside. It's going like 15 miles an hour. It then rips the brake turns. We're just like, what? It was like Mario Kart hitting a banana. It was just
going for a little slip and slide.
That's pretty much what it was. And you know what? I say I would do that now. However, I really don't want to ruin my car, so I'm going to have to convince other people to do it. I think I can pull it off.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I kind of want to get into the music with you guys as well, because the fact that, again, God had sent to me, I listened to it. It definitely had a feel of like a certain like kind of grungy, but also like Deftones kind of feel at the same time. So it had like this like rock alt metal kind of mix in there as well. And really want to dive into that because, again, seeing that you guys work with people like Jose, I'm going to mess up his name, Jose from 3 Years Hollow. I'm just going to call it that because otherwise I'm going to mess
it's
up.
It's all good.
And
I
then,
messed up 1.2.
Okay, so I'm not going to be too bad on this podcast. Woo! And then, of course, Morgan Rose of Sevendust. And the thing that kind of freaked me out the most about seeing that was the fact that, like, when I was preparing for this, it was right after the last Sevendust album came out. So I'm like, huh, neat.
Oh, that is weird timing. Yeah.
Perfect timing for it too. So what I kind of want to get to know is especially how did the band start and what was the biggest reason behind forming the specific sound that you guys did? Again, with that like feel, but when I looked at when people were talking about it, what you guys related to, a lot of Deftones comparisons, a lot of Alice in Chains comparisons as well. So I kind of want to get to the bottom of the formation of the band and really the formation of the sound as a whole.
Well, it originally started with our singer. I'm Zame, by the way. I play bass. I forgot to say that. But our singer Justin, he started a project in 2013. Originally called it Alborn Theory, and it was just basically him. Then eventually our drummer Razor, or Alex is his actual name. We call him by his last name. He got involved with Justin. They started doing some things, writing some music and playing shows, and him and a couple other guys as well. They were played covers. Eventually, 2016, I came in the band, and 2018, that's when we decided to be all original band. And then now Nate's been in the last couple years, I want to say, as far as that goes, how the band formed. And as far as like the music, what was your question about the music direction? I'm sorry.
So, like, what was the main reason behind having that sound that is comparable to, like, Deftones, Alice Change, something like a grungy, hard rock, alt metal sound kind of rolled into one?
Oh, I just well, like I like to mention Deftones and Alice in Chains because those are like two of our biggest influences. But it's just we all love that early 2000 sound, and we kind of want to make a sort of modernized version of that. And also, you can say there's elements of all other genres too. But yeah, we're just trying to make the most unique sound possible and try and make stuff that's just different, not stuff you hear every day, really.
And that's completely understandable as well. But it's always what I like to see is just, when it comes to the influences that you guys have as a band, of course, that's going to end up drawing a lot of into your music because, of course, you're listening to stuff like Deftones, stuff like Alice in Chains. You might be listening to stuff like Sevendust, like 3 Years Hollow, just kind of bringing that in at the same time as well, getting an understanding for that sound. But then the pieces that you like of it are going to end up coming into your sound. The piece that you might not like of it exactly, you're going to kind of might push them away, and then you're going to create some other things. Well, who else knows when, you might have other influences from other bands? Well, maybe something more like a punk rock scene or more of a metalcore scene or even more of like a folk rock scene or like I mean, it could be anything really, but it's like when you're bringing in the type of influences that you have and what you're really listening to, not only yourself, Zane, but also everybody else in the band, you're bringing that all together. You're going to end up creating something that's going to be that unique sound that you're going for that is uniquely yours and is something that you really enjoy due to the fact that you created and it's based off of what you wanted to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, we like Nate, I know, and other guys listen to a lot of rap, hip hop, and me myself, I like bands like 21 Pilots, Cage the Elephant. So we got all those little spices, everything. We're trying to sort of blend together into our music as well.
So Nate, you're big into hip hop and rap?
More like the older stuff. I've fallen out of it, but I had a streak for, I don't know, I'd say 10 years where I didn't listen to much rock. I listened to mostly rap, R&B and stuff like that. But the newer stuff, I just can't, a lot of it I can't get into.
Just can't get into because well, I mean, there's like, because when I was younger, like I was listening to some of that stuff too, just because, well, for mostly it was I wanted to fit in with the crowd. Just because it was like,
yeah.
I went from when I was a kid, I went from one school to another, knew no one there, and it was like something that I could actually use to potentially relate to people. About 2 years after that, I decided that was a bunch of crap. So ended up everyone's listening to like all that pop, like all pop stuff, country rap, and then here's me just like, oh, what are you listening to? Especially because I was at a Catholic school. What are you listening to? My favorite band's Disturbed. And it's just like, so the teacher's like, huh? But it's just when it comes to certain things, like if you're listening to hip hop and rap and R&B for 10 years, when you guys are writing music, there has to be maybe a little bit of that's going to be influenced in there just because of how long you listen to it. But you're going to end up picking out certain things that work within the overall arc of the sound that Alborn has.
Right.
Definitely.
I think like a lot of, rhythms just in general and all different styles of music, the rhythms can get put into like the rhythmic patterns and whatnot I think we use.
Yeah, I think like even you could say certain beats could be turned into something like an R&B or hip hop song.
Yeah, and I was saying where a lot of that comes in is just understanding the overall construction of basically those genres and of those certain beats as well, and seeing how they fit in there. Because when you see bands experiment with a bunch of different sounds over the course of time, it's always like I always see them take their sound and they take a sound of like say something completely different, And there's always some piece that they end up using that end up matching them together to make everything flow together. And from something that recently came out, I think a good example of that would be something like with Bring Me the Horizon's new album with the song they did with Baby Metal, where it's like, okay, there's this super fast J-pop style, and then they're like this heavy metalcore style, but it's just because it's so fast paced throughout the whole entire thing, everything just flowed together really nicely. So it's something like that kind of an idea of understanding the whole entire construction of certain patterns, certain sounds, certain genres, certain ways that music flows, really working with that together and potentially putting certain things in there can really give you that unique sound that you guys want.
Would have to agree, 100%.
Oh yeah, what? Yeah, 100%.
And that's not something like I'm just telling you guys. Like I've said that a good amount of times on this podcast because that's always one thing I think when it comes to everyone. You know, you got so many different influences, but when you understand exactly what those influences are and how to use them within your music, I mean, a lot of bands that are the biggest bands in the world right now, that's what they did with their sound. That's how they created it. And it's like, take a look at like bands from, you know, maybe the late 90s, early 2000s. When you take a look at bands that influence them, it's like bands in the early 90s, late 80s. And then going on, it's like there's always that like 10, 15 year gap in influence. But you can see how everything kind of comes together and then boom, you get this brand new sound that all of a sudden people are going to end up like, hey, who do you sound like? Like in 10 years, it'd be like, oh, they're influenced by Alborn. Totally. And it's like, it's going to be simple as hell. And people are going to know about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a snowball effect, I would call it, just continuously influencing one another and making, you know, what the end product is, really.
And that's really the whole entire key as well, is just, especially between you two guys and the other two guys in the band, is just working together as that cohesive unit. And again, understanding that everyone also might have different influences as well, but bringing them in there and having the, well, I was going to say, what's the best way to put it? Having the comfort level and having the confidence that, you know, they know what they're doing, so that when they bring something in with a different idea, you're going to give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, it might not work. But if it does work, hell, you might have a big ass single on your hands that you put out there and it completely just changes the trajectory of the band for the positive, I should say. For the positive. That's the main thing. For the positive. But it's just like all of a sudden you could be just going like, dude, you could be having like that gradual slope up, and all of a sudden you release a single that, you know, it's something that someone has never tried before, but it's something that is totally within your sound, within your influence, and something you wanted to always try. And all of a sudden, instead of going on that gradual incline, all of a sudden it's like an exponential curve. It's just like,
Definitely, dude. I'd say there's a million things we try, and we never, you know, agree on a song unless we're all 100% happy with it. So I think we definitely try to make it so we have all the different possibilities we can possibly throw in there.
And that's
when we have our every Saturday we get together and write in the home studio we use, and you know, we'll go for, I mean, Zane, we probably go for like what, 10, 12 hours sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's an all day event.
And we might, weekend. You know, if a song ends up being 4 minutes at the end of it, we'll have like, within that file, we'll have like 7 or 8 minutes worth of rips, you know, that written and whatnot that we didn't, you know, we didn't all agree that were supposed to fit with that song and everything. So I think that definitely kind of goes along with that whole influence when trying to come up with your sound.
But I was gonna say the main thing is you're also letting the song dictate itself along with the four of you guys as well, so that when it comes to creating something, you're trying so many different things. You have maybe, you know, a 4-minute song, but you've got like 8-9 minutes of riffs in there just to like you see maybe something works, something doesn't. But you're kind of letting the overall consensus of the band be like, okay, this is what fits on this, instead of being one guy being like, oh, I want this on there, and the other 3 guys are like, no, dude, can't have that on there because it just doesn't fit. You can't force something to fit. It's like it's like when you're like a little kid and you got those like that like box with the little cutouts in there. It's like, oh, to learn shapes. You're trying to push the square into the triangle. Like, get in there.
Not gonna work. Just ain't gonna happen.
It just ain't gonna happen. And there's times where it's like, and not only that, but from a fan perspective as well. One thing I found is you can tell when bands are trying to force certain things into songs, because you can just tell like, this just doesn't seem like it fits. But when it just comes so naturally and it's like something that everyone agrees on, especially within the band, all of a sudden it comes out and the fans just like, wow, that really worked out nicely. And it's just all because everything is so naturally fitted in there. It's not like, again, trying to fit the square block into the triangle, like, get the fuck In there.
Yeah, that's a big thing when we're writing. Like me personally, I really like when some bands are kind of sporadic, you could say. Like God, I had the perfect band I thought of. Like I don't know if you know 12-Foot Ninja.
I thought you
They're
were gonna say that.
yeah, 12-Foot Ninja, dude. 1 minute it's heavier, balls to the wall. The 1 second it's like jazz music you're dancing to, but it works. And as long as it flows and it all makes sense, then there should be no problem with it. And that's our main thing when we're writing. We're making sure it all flows together, but there's still some surprises in there. And what was the other thing I was going to say?
Interesting.
Yeah, keep it interesting, but natural. It's not uncomfortable.
Yeah, and when it comes to just working within different styles as well and bringing maybe some different influence to try a little bit more of an experimental style on it, along with the core sound that you guys have created for yourself, it's, again, understanding just how certain things work so that, maybe, okay, we're trying to do this one thing and it doesn't sound like it's necessarily going to fit, but it might be the right move. However, you just got to tweak something up to make sure it fits better within the overall sound. So instead of trying to force maybe like a slower progression into it, maybe kind of match the pacing up overall just so that everything flows together really nicely. And then you get in that next part and then you can gradually maybe take the pacing down a little bit. And then you get that surprise in there because all of a sudden you go really low, really slow. And all of a sudden you just hear this little vocal go, and then you can go literally, you can go as hard as you want just off of that. It's like the subtleties of just transitioning between one part to a next is really what kind of makes a song in the end, which really makes it, especially the experimental ones, really stand out. It's just how everything flows together, and it's a lot of the times in those transitions.
Almost definitely.
Oh, transitions are key. That can make or break a part, basically.
Oh yeah, and it's like when you take a look at because I'm trying to think of a good example of like a band that like one time did like some like crazy experimentation. It's like the transitions just were off, and it's just like, what the hell were they thinking? But that's like the next song. Like they could just like do something completely right. It's like, well, what the hell was that when this was so good? It makes no sense, but it happens.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just yeah. There are times when I realize when we play something and listen to something, we think it sounds great, and then a week later you listen to it, you're like, well, why did I do this? This is crap. And whether you were stone sober or wasted, it happens either way. I don't know why some music I listen to where it's like you said, transitions or just make you think why would you do that when this was better? But each their own, I guess.
It's got to sound like the same song, unless you're oh god, I'm trying to think of a band that there's a couple bands that are super good at putting there's a switch right in the middle of the song.
Like a big key change or something.
I just heard one by, I don't listen to them a whole lot, but by Avenged Sevenfold. It starts right in the middle of the song, like it changes, Just like, what is it? Shoot.
I don't listen to much Avenged myself, so I couldn't tell you what song it was.
Well, I mean, for another example, I think I just got a good one in my mind. Think of Master of Puppets by Metallica, where it goes hard for like the first 2 minutes, and all of a sudden it's just like Master, and then all of a sudden just gets super slow, super melodic, and you're like, huh?
Yeah,
but it's considered easily one of Metallica's top 5 songs of all time, if over consensus. I mean, everyone's got a different favorite, but it's just in a consensus, you're gonna see that in the top 5 every single time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're definitely that grandfather band. That's just that no matter what, they're on top of the hill. They're the king right there.
Yeah, the only thing is like I saw they're supposed to do this year for 2020 with all like the Danny Wimmer Presents festivals. Like they're gonna do 2 nights headlining like at each one. I saw that, I was like, huh, not the biggest fan of that. It was like they're gonna do like louder than light. They're gonna headline like a Friday night and a Sunday night at the Danny Wimmer Presents house. So like Welcome to Rockville, Aftershock, Epicenter, Louder Than Life. Sonic Temple.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I get it because they're gonna bring in a lot of crowds because it's Metallica. They always do. But I'm like, do you have to play 2 nights? Can't we just get one?
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Then COVID came and canceled it all.
COVID came and ruined all this shit.
Yeah, that lineup looked awesome. Actually, I thought about going to that festival. I thought it looked a lot of good bands I wanted to see there.
It was like Well, for the one for Aftershock, though, was the one that everyone was all big on because the one night where they didn't have Metallica as the headliner was My Chemical Romance. So I was like, a lot of people want to go to that. However, I was trying to go to Riot Fest this year because they were going to be headlining on that Saturday night, and I'm like, yeah, it's a lot better to go to Chicago than it is to go out to California. A lot cheaper.
Yeah, a lot cheaper. Yeah, a lot less distance between Milwaukee and Chicago.
Oh yeah, and then because I went to Riot Fest last year, I had a blast. I'm like, yeah, I want to go again. But my whole entire premise was I was texting a couple of contacts. I'm like, can you guys this is before COVID even him because they were starting to release the lineup. I'm like, can you guys tell me one thing? And they're like, why do you need to know this certain thing? I'm like, well, I just want to know if this certain band is playing on Saturday night because I want to know if I need to get a 1-day ticket or if I need to get all three because. I'm like, I'm just trying to make sure I use my money right. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, what band do you want to know when they're playing on? I'm just like, yeah, tell me when Rise Against is playing. Like, if it's on Saturday, it's on Friday, Sunday. I know they're probably going to be playing, but just tell me when. Never heard back. I'm like, oh, come on. But then COVID happened. So.
Damn, that sucks.
Still mad about that.
Yeah, I would definitely be mad about that.
No, not only that, but it's like I had for myself personally, I was just with it, right after COVID hit and right after everything got shut down, I was taking a look at the concert I was supposed to go. I'm like, supposed to go see Devil Wears Prada. Then We Came as Romans. Then Black for Brides. Then In This Moment. Then Sleeping with Sirens, Volbeat, Against Me, Deftones. Shoot, who else was there? Because I had a bunch of Breaking Benjamin, Skill. I had a list of 30 bands I already had tickets for. Yeah.
Oh my god, man. Yeah,
that's a heavy duty lineup.
It was,
dude.
It was over, and it was only over the course of 3 months for that point.
Damn,
Wow.
it was full.
We were really thinking about going to. I think it was actually the venue in Milwaukee, the Rave, Eagles Ballroom. We were gonna try to go to the Deftones and Gojira show there in August, but obviously it never happened. Man, that would have been amazing.
Well, if I'll say if it
two
would
of
have
our favorite bands without doubt.
Yeah. I was gonna say if it would have happened and you guys would have been in a mosh pit and if you would have seen someone get knocked over and start bleeding, the likelihood that it would have been me would have been very high.
Yeah. Oh, there's Kevin.
Hey, there's
God.
Kevin. There's Kevin. Why does he got his hand over his eye? He's probably bleeding. Will he be back in the pit? Yeah, give him 10 minutes. He'll be fine.
I'll make sure to look out for the Vikings hoodie if I see you.
Honestly, just look out for I don't know how to it's weird to describe. It's just find the pit, you'll find me. That's pretty much the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even for going to the rave, I was there the night before Halloween because of course with COVID they're trying to make as much money as possible to keep everything going on, but because the building is supposedly haunted, there's a couple people that died in the building before it was a music venue. They were doing this thing where they're letting people buy tickets to come in and you could tour the building from top to bottom in the dark. All you had was a flashlight.
Oh, well, those blackout night events. Is that what was called?
Yeah, so it's you start at the top of the balcony that they have where you basically if there's a show going on, there's a bar up there. That's pretty much all it's for. And then you work your way down to the balcony in the ballroom. Then you work your way down actually into the ballroom, towards the stage kind of thing. And you went downstairs toward the club level and the balcony there, then down to the stage. Found a couple of cool rooms there I never knew existed. Went down to the basement stage. And I was getting super nostalgic the whole entire way through. And of course it ended all the way at the bottom of the building, all the way in the back where the pool is.
Damn.
And they had it set up where it actually is haunted, but they had it set up really nicely where it looked haunted, where they had a smoke machine in the bottom, so it was all smoky in the bottom of the pool. There's a little red balloons sitting up in there.
Those little spooky accents.
Yeah, little spooky ass. But plus it's dark. Plus it's completely dark in there too. All you have is a flashlight. You're looking around and the people I was with, because there was about 6 or 7 of us that were in this group that were going around at the same time. Everyone's kind of freaking out. There I am in the pool. I've got my flashlight on the wall looking at all the signatures. I'm like, can I find a band that I actually went to go and see? I was at that show. I was getting all disappointed because I couldn't find one. And all of a sudden, my friend that I went, she was like, hey, Kevin, I found one. I turned around and literally just the biggest signature on the, just right above the pool just said Ice 9 Kills. I'm just like, huh, that's the show I was at. And I was wearing an Ice Nine Kill shirt at the time. I'm like, okay, you got to take a picture of me, just like
Right.
having too much fun. But yeah, it's just like now if you get a chance, have you guys ever been to the rave before?
I went and saw After the Burial. It was all one show. The only time I've been there was After the Burial. I think Era. There was 2 other ones. Can't remember the other 2, but it was an awesome show. It was in the basement. After
Okay,
the Burial killed it.
Because I was gonna say if it was After the Burial, was that last year? Because I actually saw After the Burial at the rave, but they were opening for Motionless in White.
It was not that show. It would have been probably the one before that then.
Okay.
Wait, Nate, were you at that show with me? After the Burial one?
No, unless you were there and I just didn't know.
Did I forget you were there? No, because when I went to the rave, it was Parkway Drive and Killswitch Engage. They were headlining, and After the Burial and a couple other bands opened up for them. Okay.
Holy crap.
Apparently,
I was like,
After the Burial just plays at the rave every weekend.
Yeah. I was like, Nate wasn't at that show with me. The other guys were, but Nate wasn't.
Oh, Nate, what the heck, man? I mean, well, After the Burial is great. When I was for the After the Burial show, like the one I saw when they opened for Motionless White, it was one of the most violent pits I've ever seen and was a part of.
Oh yeah.
That's when I always bring up, like, when it's like people's like, oh yeah, have you actually bled during a show? I'm like, yeah, that one is the biggest bleeder of all time, because I got hit, like I got knocked down, I was getting picked up, and some dude went head to head right on me, got this massive cut right under my left eye, like right where it was like almost under the whole thing. And
man.
The guy was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I was literally saying, get me the fuck out of here. And the reason was I wasn't mad at the guy. I just didn't want to bleed over everybody.
Right. Yeah. Gotta be courteous.
And then like we're like I got to the bathroom, like I had like a bunch of like toilet paper because there's no paper towel in there. I'm like stuffing it in my eye. He's like, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm like, dude, I'm not mad at you. I just want to get out of there because, you know, blood on people, they don't like that. And then I end up having to not be in the pit for the rest of the show because, well, I didn't want to end up having the cut open up and bleed over everybody, especially because I had a bunch of like toilet paper over my eye, and somebody gave me a piece of their flannel that they ripped off, and I tied it around. I looked like a pirate. I was so happy.
That's badass.
Gotta make do with what you have at the time. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's like when it comes to those crazy shows, like, you know, if whatever you can do to make sure you still see the show, that's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, me personally, I can't do mosh pits. It's just I'm not a wild person. It's just too wild for me. I just like watching the show. But the one time I tried to go into a pit was at Northern Invasion 2018. I'm actually wearing the shirt right now.
Oh, nice.
But me and I specifically wore it for this interview, for this podcast.
Yeah.
It was Northern Invasion was awesome, but the ending night, Tool close it out and everything, and me and one of the other guys, and then our girlfriends came with us. We were like 3 rows away from the barricade, and man, that fucking crowd got wild, absolutely insane. We were in one spot, then 5 minutes later we were like 40 feet away from where we were originally standing, just because everyone was so tight together, pushing us all around. We were just trying to survive it. At eventually, like 10 minutes later, I just had to say, let's get out of here, and that was a chore. That took about 10 minutes to get out of the crowd, but watch the rest of the show. It was awesome. Light show and everything. I mean, the pit was cool. It was fun. It's just I can't do it for too long. Me personally.
That's understandable. It's somewhere. It's like if you have to really want to be in there, especially in like a music festival, same with an outdoor venue. It depends on the weather too, because last year when I was at Riot Fest to see Rise Against, it was like 70 degrees outside, so it wasn't bad, but it was humid. So of course, once Rise Against starts playing, everyone's like packed together, and it was the same thing. I was moving all over the place. I had no idea where I was. There came a point in time where I thought I was about to pass out just because I just need to find somewhere with air. All of a sudden I see a little spot open up in the middle. I'm like, there's air. And all of a sudden I see someone smash into somebody else. I'm like, it's a mosh pit. Yay! I just went right to it. And then by the time of the mosh pit, we were all about to pass out because it was just, everyone's going hard. All of a sudden you just see the music stops. All of a sudden you see them bring out an acoustic guitar. Everyone's just thinking, Thank you.
You
seen
a
one
chance
song.
to chill out for a sec.
We see just like 5-minute break, play Swing Life Away, 5-minute break, we're good. And then all of a
Swing
sudden,
life away.
Swinging life with
and it's
that
like all,
song. Honestly, I still jam that song every once in a while.
I don't blame you, man. It's a great song.
Yeah. Oh man, I definitely like watching the pits though. Like it just adds to the atmosphere so much. It's probably you could say part of the reason you go to a metal concert. Just watch the pits. It's just it's an energy to it, really. All I can really say to describe it.
Yeah, there's an innate craziness in there. It's a controlled chaos kind of thing where it just
Yeah.
amps up the energy overall, and I miss it. I miss it too much.
Hey,
Soon, hopefully.
soon, yeah.
Hopefully soon, yeah. I told myself when I was doing the walkthrough at the rave, I'm like, if I start seeing ghosts, I'm just gonna ask if they want to start a mosh pit because I just like, and knowing that I'd end up just running right through them and just like falling flat on the floor, probably start bleeding, and I'd be like, memories.
It's like
back.
it's like PTSD.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're out in the middle of public, and you just see a group of people, and all of a sudden you just snap and start a mosh pit.
Well,
just from withdrawals.
Well, that's gonna be probably something that happens too. It's like once more stuff starts opening up again, once all of a sudden it's like, okay, people are going out to the bars and it's like, it's safer or fully safe, whatever it might be. Because by the time it's fully safe, then live music will be back. I'm just gonna be doing that the whole entire time. But it's like all of a sudden, oh yeah, you get a big group of people. They start playing something that's got a little bit of like rock music in there instead of like all the pop, hip hop, rap they're playing. All of a sudden, I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna start pushing people, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm gonna end up starting a full mosh pit. Now it's gonna be with all the bouncers and all the security personnel, but it might work.
What's it called? That all the bars have now. Touch tunes, yeah, touch tunes. Get it ready, get it prepped.
Get it ready, get it prepped, and just start playing some after the burial. We'll call it a day and just see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. See where the night goes.
Sounds like a good plan.
It does sound like a good plan. Now, will the bar lose a lot of patrons? Probably, because there's probably like the girls like, oh my god, they're not playing Cardi B. What is this? Let's go to another one, girls. Woo! And then all of a sudden, there's gonna be me and like a bunch of metalheads in a bar just smashing each other. And the next thing you know, they're gonna go to the bar. Excuse me. Can I get a couple of beers, please? And they're gonna be like super polite at the bar. That's the way it is. It's just like like in the pit, you're as crazy as possible. All of a sudden, you get out of it, just like, hi, how's it going?
Hi,
right.
Have a good time. Can I have a drink, please? Maybe a shot of tequila. I'm feeling a little crazy right now. God, but. So, well, because I know you guys said, like, especially like on Saturdays, you've been doing these crazy writing sessions. Just jump back into the music. Has that been something that's been a consistent thing throughout the entire lifespan of the band? Or has that just been something that you guys have been doing since 2020 happened with all the COVID shutdown kind of stuff?
For a few years, we've been good about having practice at least once a week. And it used to be just actual practice. We would just practice our set, everything, and then try to write a little bit if we can. It used to be on weekdays we did that, but yeah, since COVID started, we changed into Saturdays and full day of writing, whereas before it's just a few hours every week we got together, but now it's just every Saturday all day basically.
That's a good way to go about it, though. Oh, I'll let you go, Nate, my bad.
It's kind of nice too that it's, like he was saying, on the weekdays, that's usually it's after work and everything for us, so we're all a little bit tired, and maybe we don't have as many good ideas as we would get on a Saturday.
Yeah,
we can wake up fresh and all that.
Definitely not as much energy as you would have on a Saturday.
Right.
Oh, totally understandable. None of that, but when it comes to Saturday, you've got a little bit more of availability for everyone to get together, because you never know, all of a sudden, like, it's a Wednesday night, you guys are trying to get together, and it's, oh well, now I've got this going on, or oh, the wife or the girlfriend's got me doing this now, or whatever it is, and you only get two guys to show up. It's like, well, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah, stuff happens, but I mean, it luckily with writing, we're comfortable, trust each other obviously enough where it doesn't matter if one of us misses or two of us miss. As long as something is being worked on, someone's writing some stuff, making progress basically, because we all generally have the same taste, and we know we trust each other to know like what would fit here or there. It's just when we're together, it just helps to really build the song better. but if someone has to step out for whatever day, it's not a big deal usually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we send demos, after we get done, send them over email to everybody so we can listen back to it and
Yeah.
everything before we get back together.
yeah, that makes sense. I didn't like when I said that, I didn't mean like, oh, like someone's always kind of pulling on. It's like you're just like, oh, why are we doing this? It's what I meant. Like, when it comes to having it on a Saturday,
sorry.
when it comes to having it on a Saturday, you have more of that availability where that's not going to be the case, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a greater chance for all four of you to be together at once, writing and working on certain things, and then all of a sudden, because if all four of you together, there's a higher chance of all of a sudden say, maybe Zame, you're working on something and you come up with an idea, and it's just like you have something going on. But all of a sudden, someone else in the band hears that, and all of a sudden, it gets the inspiration to basically take that to the next level to where you really need to go with it. So it's just like that constant collaboration, that consistency is there more. And also when you're working with a longer period of time, too, because then you're able to dive into certain things, have saying, oh, we'll pick this up again, tomorrow or a couple of days from now. And then you lose that full, flow of ideas going into it.
Yeah, it's nice not being able to rush it. Basically, it's pretty chill. We go and get lunch and dinner or something too. Come back to it. We can take our time with it a little bit. We still try to make good use of our time, but it's not a big rush. Just trying to do as much as you can, really.
And yeah, and that's pretty much the key of it as well. It looks like we lost Nate's video. Oh, there he is. Hi, Nate.
What up?
I had to do that. I just wanted to do that because there's times where I get that happen. It's like, oh, well, hi. How's it going? Welcome back kind of thing with the video.
Gotta get a charger, plug the phone in.
Oh, okay. But it does but again, it's something where now that, again, with COVID, the one thing I always think about is when it comes to this time, because who the hell knows what the hell's going on? Who the hell knows when all of a sudden live music come back? And now there goes Zame's video. Hi, Zame.
Oh, sorry.
I know. Because I did it with Nate. I got to do it with you. Just thought it'd be fun. So where I was going to go with this is just when it comes to this whole entire thing with COVID, no one knows exactly when this is going to be over, when live music is going to come back. So instead of just taking this time and be like, okay, well, we'll wait for something else to come back, what you're doing is you're kind of readjusting basically when it comes to getting together and writing and working on music, you're readjusting your style on that in terms of when you get together, how long you get together, to basically fit better in with what's going on and maximizing the time that you have now in the situation that you have now, instead of just kind of sitting on your hands and hoping that things go back to normal soon.
Exactly, man. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just trying to make the best use of this time while we can, because I mean, man, there's really nothing else you can do. Really, that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, just keep pushing promotion over social media and all that type of stuff, and
that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, easily, because again, when it comes to I've spoken about this many times. That's why I said, well, again. So when it comes to just COVID-19, everyone's kind of just sitting, especially at the beginning, everyone's sitting around just in their houses, like, okay, when can we go back outside? When can we do stuff again? Everyone's just going to be online. Everyone's going to be on their phones, on their computers. Everyone's going to get sick of Netflix and Tiger King after a week. Everyone's going to end up like, well, you don't want, it's either going to end up finding something new or watch The Office for a 15th time. And that's when I'm like, well, I've seen bands really start pumping out a lot more stuff online at that time. And I'm like, now that's the move to make. And even now, continuing to do that even into now the winter months while we're still in this, because again, people are going to be in the house. People are going to be looking for new things consistently. So whatever you guys can offer them in terms of a new song, maybe something you're working on, maybe some wacky video you guys put together on a Saturday, just cause you never know, but just always being open to that change and open to figuring out what you can do now with the circumstance you have now to build on the success that the band has already had and continue that success. That is a major key in terms of, well, keep moving that success up.
Yeah, oh yeah, way up there. There's a band that, man, they've been killing it actually with the whole online, since the quarantine thing. Can't think of who it is now, but yeah, it's just, I always see very awesomely entertaining stuff from them all the time. I really can't think of the name right now.
I mean, I feel like I got to guess on it, because the band that I like, especially from the start, the band that I always saw doing that was From Ashes to New, because they always did like these different like live stream covers. They'd bring in from different bands. They just end up like covering their songs, but bring in other artists as well. So they did a cover of Gravity by Papa Roach, and in order to get the female vocals that Maria Brink had on that track to cover them, they brought in Jen Ledger from Skillet, and it was all just recorded from home kind of thing. They did a parody of Wake Me Up When September Ends called Wake Me Up When 2020 Ends. And
Damn.
it's hilarious because all of a sudden you just see Danny Case walking around in a T-Rex suit like the whole time. It's funny as hell.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome.
So that's always my guess. But I mean, there's other bands that are doing it as well. Like, and it's always within their own style as well. Because they're doing that. You get guys like Ronnie Radke and Matt Heafy who are doing the Twitch streaming. That's really where they're taking off right now. Seeing people like Ice Nine Kills, especially over Halloween, but like all the stuff that they did around that. And I mean, they built a whole app for your phone off of the band. They've done stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then like all the live stream stuff as well, because I know Motionless in White did one at the end of October that was massively successful as well. At the beginning of quarantine, the beginning of a pandemic, because it was right around St. Patrick's Day. Like the first band to ever do like the live stream show was Dropkick Murphys, and that actually worked out really well because it was like, well,
yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
What are we gonna do? We need something new. It was right away. Like they hit it right away. It was a smart move.
Oh yeah, they didn't hesitate. Yeah, I remember. Oh God, who was the Post Malone stream of all the Nirvana covers?
Oh,
I watched that. That was pretty. I thought it was really good. I thought he did really good with those songs, his vocals and everything. I don't know if you saw that, Nate. I know we talked about it.
Yeah, I didn't. I think that was one of those videos you guys posted in the chat that I missed.
Yeah,
I was at work.
Yeah, we all thought it was dope.
Yeah.
You know, not like that, but then like when it comes to Post Malone doing something like that, you're basically bringing younger people into more of the rock and metal genres by doing something like that. Similar with Machine Gun Kelly, or MGK as he now goes as all over the place, doing that pop punk album. It's like for me, I'm like, I'm not the biggest fan of his voice on that pop punk album. However, I'm not going to really knock it because it's bringing so many kids back into the genre. So I'm like, why would I stop it?
It's very true. I never thought about that. Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of, it's like again, going back to Post Malone, the song he did with Ozzy, and there was all those memes and stuff going around how all these kids listen to Post Malone are just like, who's this new Ozzy guy? This guy's gonna blow up, dude.
Yeah, I saw it and it was like, Post Malone's such a good dude for putting Ozzy on or something like that.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
I was dying.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm just like, I was sitting there like, oh, you guys got to be kidding me. I'm like, do I say something on. I'm like, wait a minute. They're going to get into Ozzy's music office and they're going to realize who Ozzy is and that the fact they already know who he is. So give it some time. They got this. It's going to be a little slower, but they got this kind of thing.
Yeah. And with, I saw, because, Van Halen passed away, that his, he was back like number one on the charts. So that's another way how younger kids are gonna listen to Van Halen now. It's just because they see that and they look up the guy, listen to his music. Could become the next, big rock bands.
Yeah, because like a week or two after Eddie died, what ended up happening was if you look at the iTunes download charts, like on the top 100 songs, 22 of those songs were Van Halen songs. With a couple of them in the top 5 or in the top 10, I think. Because I know Panama was in the top 5 because Panama's just a fucking awesome song, I think.
Yeah.
Run with the Devil was up there. And then Hot for Teacher just because it's Hot for Teacher.
Yeah. I think that might have been the thing I saw. I'm not sure what the charts were. It probably was up there, though. I would guess. Because it's Eddie Van Halen. So...
Yeah, but it's somewhere I'm starting to see certain things where there's times where just things happen and just, I've seen some like those like big rock heads, big metal heads, like the purists that are like, oh no, this is bad. And I'm like, but it's bringing people back in the genre. It's like what's going to end up pulling them away is kind of that behavior of, oh, this isn't what it should be. It's like no,
the elitists. Yeah,
it's like just chill. If it's bringing people back in the genre, then we're gonna get bands to make that stuff again. Like, come on, let's let this happen, dude.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just, it's music, and let people enjoy it, and possibly make something more out of it. Yeah,
because if it wasn't for you guys getting into like bands like Deftones, Alice in Chains, maybe bands like Nirvana, stuff like that. I mean, you guys would be making the music that you're making right now.
Exactly, yeah. And I definitely know there are people who hates all those bands right there, but that's just and then they might hate Deftones, but then like us, and that's just kind of ironic, but that's just how it works, I would say. I would definitely believe, in my professional opinion.
That's just the way it goes, man. I mean, it just happens. There's times where it's like with bands there's bands for me where it's like there's some bands I just can't get into. But then there's like a band that sounds like almost the same as them or has a very big influence like them, but it's just one little subtle change can mean the difference. But again, that's all based on personal opinion at the same time as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for definite.
Yeah, so but one thing I've seen with you guys, especially through this year, taking a look at, well, I've gotten yelled at this by another band because of how the whole entire thing with Spotify with how little they pay out per stream. So come on, Spotify, pay out more per streams. Come on. Gotta yell at them for that. But like,
Would be
again,
nice.
taking a look at you guys' Spotify, I mean, you have an EP Imperative that was released this year in 2020. If it was released earlier, again, screw you, Spotify, because I've had that happen before. And then your latest single, Full Circle, which was released back in October. Again, according to Spotify. If I'm wrong on that, just, make fun of me for it then.
Correct Mundo.
I think it was October 9th, right?
That's
something like that.
That's what Spotify says.
The song came out not that long ago, and I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was the 9th. Pretty sure it was October 9th. And then the EP came out August 28th.
Yeah,
that's when we released that. Yep.
Oh man, just pumping out. Just once you get that EP out there, and all of a sudden you're pumping out a new single right away.
Yeah, just getting them out there. Yeah.
Well, in terms of the way that like music is consumed nowadays, that is not a bad idea.
Oh yeah, the consumer rate is definitely high, and you can also say people's attention spans. Like I know I could speak for myself. My attention span can lose after a while, so I'll always want to consume more content, without a doubt.
Yeah, and it's like with how Spotify playlists are curated, it's just like, okay, you put something new out there, you might get on a playlist all of a sudden, like a month and a half, you get taken off that playlist. But if you keep putting something out like every now and again,
right,
on a consistent basis, your name's going to constantly be popping up because there's a lot of people that look at those like Spotify curated playlists just to see what's on this kind of thing. I mean, you're not very rarely now you can get someone like myself who still downloads all that stuff, mostly because I still use it for a bunch of different things, but also because I have an old ass iPod that I still use to run all my music on because, well, I'm ancient now.
Dude, I've been feeling old too lately.
I used to do the MP3 player for a long time still, but then it done and got busted, got broken. I couldn't fix it. Otherwise, I'd still be using that. But here I am using this device in my hand all the time now.
My biggest reason for not using my phone is just the battery consumption, because I end up having to charge my phone 2 or 3 times a day, and I just don't want to have to be tethered to a wall.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Sometimes it can get outrageous how fast it'll just get consumed, the battery will.
Yeah, like it just did to me, and I had to get that charger.
Or another reason that a big reason I do it too is like when it comes to just like I'm like going to the gym, it's if I was streaming music off of my phone, all of a sudden get a text, get an email, get a Snapchat, get a message on Facebook, get something, get a notification on Instagram. All of a sudden, like I'm checking my phone and I'm like completely losing focus on something. If I just have my old iPod and don't have it connected to Wi-Fi or anything, there is no way in hell anything's bothering me except for someone comes to me and like, hey man, can I get a spot? But at that point, it's like, well, I'm working out. You're working out. Who cares? It's like, but when it comes to music, I'm just so focused into that. Hell, even when I do like listen to this stuff or like go into album reviews and do stuff like that, I'll just listen off my iPod just because, again, I can just get lost and I don't have to worry about any other distractions outside of just that thing.
Very true.
It almost comes like like a white noise kind of thing. Or it's like when they say if you listen to classical music in the background when you're trying to, learn, it actually helps your brain to remember things. So I think that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that is because like even like when I was in college too, I'd always had this certain playlist. I basically built it the end of my first semester, my freshman year, and it was just called. It was like called just. I think I just called it Chill. I don't know why I call it Chill, but it was like I had like 20 or 30 songs on it, and I'd always listen to it when I had to study. So like go to the library, just put that on, and I don't know why, but it was like I would just focus super hard on what I was doing, and nothing could distract me even with the music, it was just like just let me get like so zeroed in on. I'm like, ooh, this is awesome. It kind of became that white noise kind of thing, but it was nice because then again, I didn't have to worry about my phone going all of a sudden just like ba-ding, 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 and I'll like take a look and have some of my friends send me a text message like, dude, I pooped.
Look at this giant dookie.
Big old mud pie.
I was gonna say it's college. That stuff gets sent out to. That stuff always gets sent out. It's like, hey, take a look at this poop, man. But I want to jump back further into your music as well, because again, you guys had that EP that came out in August. You guys had Full Circle, which came out in October of this year in 2020. And again, taking a look at some of the stuff for the band that I could find, working with working with Jose from 3 Years Hollow and also Morgan Rose from Sevendust. Did you guys work with them on these tracks as well, or was it something that you guys worked with this on yourself and just went for it on your own?
Yeah, all the music was with Jose and Morgan. Yeah, they were working on all these songs for like 3 years now that we've been working with them. And like Prime, that's the first song on the EP. That was like the very first song we did with them was Prime. And it turned out rad.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you're working with Morgan Rose of Sevendust, like, so I was listening, I'm like, when I saw that on there, I'm like, okay, definitely got to take more of a look into this because, again, it's Sevendust. They're one of the bigger bands out there, and when people see them, it's just like everyone knows exactly what you're getting. You're going to get that good, consistent sound from them. As over time, from their last 2 albums, it's a little bit more of like a mature, polished sound versus what they originally had, but it's just that natural progression that happens as, I mean, they've been around for, 20, 25 years at this point. It's just stuff like that's going to happen. But still, seeing them live is fun as all hell, so can't knock them for that, because good mosh pit memories. But I digress. I don't want to go back into mosh pitters. I want to focus still on the music because, well, that's, again, why we're here. So when it comes down to it, is like, what was it like working with those guys? Because that's always something I'm curious about hearing.
Well, it was definitely like our first, like you could say, real studio experience especially with someone like Jose. First of all, he was just kind of a step up from what we were used to working with, and Jose is a great producer. He can spit things out lightning fast. And Morgan, we love that dude. He's a riot. Yeah, it was crazy working with Morgan. But he's always has great ideas, great input. He knows what we're going for. He knows what we want. So he is really good at helping us, push us to where we want to be. What would you say, Nate?
Yeah, what would you say, Nate? I was about to say something, but yeah, what do you say, Nate?
Well, I haven't had quite as much time, so because I only joined about a year ago, and so they actually recorded most of these or all of these songs before I was in. So they got to spend a lot of time with them. Zame, how many times have you think, like twice we've been in the studio with them since I've been in?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, I mean it's been great. Like Zame says, he has great ideas. He's great at pushing stuff. He gets really into it, which is awesome.
He's super passionate about it.
Yeah, you can have producers that sit there and, they're just there for a check or something. They don't have any investment in it, but you can tell that he really, truly enjoys being there, which is nice.
He actually cares about the song. So,
and he's funny as hell.
Oh, dude, you're always laughing around him.
Yeah, he's a goof.
But when it comes to someone producing your music, that's the kind of guy you want, where not only you're going to have fun with them in the studio and, always be laughing every single time you're in there, but someone who is also taking your music seriously and fully invested in it at the same time, due to the fact that you're going to have someone who's going to, not going to be afraid to maybe make a certain suggestion, but when he makes that suggestion, he's making it from a certain place where he's trying to push you to be better, instead of maybe with other producers who are just kind of there, or, you never know exactly, but there could be some producer where it's like they're trying to push you a certain direction because this might make you more money or get you more popular right away because of the way a sound might be popular at a certain time, but it doesn't necessarily go with what you're trying to go with. You've got a guy that's really invested in making sure that you guys do what you do best and make sure that you maximize on the sound that you want to maximize on.
Yeah, most definitely.
For sure, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice too, because he can take, like, same when you I know Justin, you guys were talking about it at one point. You know, he lets us stay. He's one of those producers that lets us stay true to the sound. You know, while giving his input, he listens to what we want though, and makes sure that he's not, you know, because some people can just want to take over the song and make it their own. Then, you know, but it's nice.
Yeah, you could say
He like it's like a sprinkle, you know, like he sprinkles his ideas on top of it, and they make it so much better, you know. But he's not super pushy, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. And he loves that we know what we want, that because there's could be times where he'll come in to produce a band and they basically don't ever like say no to any idea he has. He just kind of is able to basically kind of write the song, you could say himself, the whole song himself, and then it's not the band song, it's basically another Sevendust song, you could say it is. But he likes that we don't do that. We're all about what we want, and we've told him no before with certain ideas, but now we're at the point with, in the beginning we said no to him, he was really surprised. We're at the point now we are at the point, I'm really bad at talking right now. We're at the point now where he knows what we're going for, and what we won't go for any ideas he has. And yeah, that's about it. We're really tight with him now, so he understands our mindset.
I would say one thing that he's probably got to respect the hell out of you guys a lot is the fact that you guys were willing to say no to some of those ideas up front, because again, you guys knew exactly what kind of sound you wanted. You guys knew what you were working for. You had that idea down pat. So when he was kind of sprinkling in some suggestions and you guys knew it necessarily wasn't going to fit with what you guys wanted to go with and said no, he probably was taken aback a little bit at the beginning due to the fact that, you know, and it's not anything against you guys. It's just force of habit kind of thing. Because like you said, probably worked with a good amount of bands that didn't necessarily know exactly what sound they wanted to go for and just kind of took whatever suggestion he had. So he was writing the song. So he gets an idea not only of your sound through that, but also gets a gained respect for you because he sees that you guys are dedicated to what you want to do and you want to make sure it comes out the way you want it to come out and not just like take any idea that comes from anybody really.
Yeah, I mean, especially because, you know, especially at that point, I mean, not that we're anybody now, but we're nobody band, or just now being this guy, paying him to help us with the song, everything, and then to say no, we don't want to do that. That's what really caused attention at first with us, I would say.
Interesting. But then again, I guess time has gone on. It's like it wasn't saying no to cause tension, or it's just because you guys wanted to say no because you guys understood exactly what you wanted to do. And also probably let Morgan and Jose realize, you know, this is the sound they want to go with. This is what they want to do. And then it's like, okay, now they get to understand your sound more so that they understand, okay, what you're trying to go for. And maybe it's that, like we were talking about, where, you know, you come up with an idea and you're really working on it and it's almost there and it's just not quite there yet. That just needs one little change, maybe one little addition. Who knows what it is? But all of a sudden, because they also understand the sound that you really want, they understand what your core is, they're going to be like, they can sprinkle in that idea that absolutely hits perfectly for what you guys want to go for because they fully understand it.
Mm-hmm. Well, for sure. Like I said, it's now whole team effort, and that we understand like their styles of doing things as well. So it is now has created that blend.
Flow.
Yeah, it's a flow for sure, and I would say it definitely added to our little what do you call it, mixing pot of sounds right there.
Yeah, and not that, but in the end, if it didn't work out, I mean, would you guys have played a sold out show with them beforehand? Because I think I saw that you guys played a sold out show with them in like 2019 or 2020 with Sevendust.
So if it didn't work out,
like basically, it's like, if what I mean is, shoot, how do I put this? If it wasn't for you guys understanding your sound and really basically like working with Morgan, like, okay, if you didn't understand your sound and just building that rapport up of you knowing where you wanted to go and Morgan working with you because you guys knew where you wanted to go, and then you guys are willing to have that rapport build up, have that respect build up between the you and the band, him and the band. I'm probably rambling on at this point. Now I'm starting to lose my train of thought, but
It's
basically what it is from that moment where you guys started first working with Morgan to where you are now, to where he understands your sound, you understand your sound, you both understand the vision that you guys have, and going forward to make incredible music off of it. If it wasn't for that building of a relationship, do you guys think you would have played that? Because I think I saw you guys played it like a weekend set with them sometime last year, maybe early this year in Champaign, Illinois, that was sold out. If it wasn't for that, I mean, like, you guys probably wouldn't have ended up playing that show. But again, the fact that you guys understood what your sound was, and when working with Morgan, you guys wanted to make sure you stayed true to who you guys were, and then having him understand that, and then building that respect off of that to end up working so that, you guys, when he's sprinkling ideas, you guys are taking them. It's like, okay, do we want to use this? Do we not want to use this? And if he's, maybe if it's like a yes, you understand why. If it's a no, okay, let's try something different and just have that free flowing kind of ideal. But again, there's always that respect that's there between not only him, but also you as well. And I probably butchered all of that, but I hope I didn't.
Yeah. So I guess going back to your question, if there wasn't that respect, I couldn't say we would have played that show with them. I would guess no. That's what I'm gonna say.
I don't think after, I know, because Justin told me, coming from the third person, because I wasn't a part of this, Justin, when you were saying, like, after you guys said no a couple times, like, that really made Morgan want to actually work with you guys more. I think probably staying true to the sound at that point in time is what, made him want to come back. And then that's what started the whole flow with Jose and the attic and everything like that. So is that kind of what you're asking? Like, is that the birth of that? Because that led to all the stuff after that, I would say.
Yeah, it for sure. Because the first time we told him no at the first session we had with him, it was we didn't even reach out about the next studio session. It was Jose told us that Morgan wanted to do more songs with us, which we thought was awesome. That he was the one who wanted to start it back up again some more. But yeah, I would say for sure that if it wasn't for that buildup of our respect for each other, that I would not think we have played those shows with them.
Okay, I'll put it this way. The way I asked the question might not have been like the best concise way, but the way you guys answered it was the way that the question I wanted to ask was supposed to be asked. So, woo, you guys understood it at least. It's like,
Zame didn't mention either you should talk about the Battle of the Bands, because that's kind of what got the.
So that was 17, 2017. There was a we lived like an hour away from the Quad Cities, if you know where that is. Like Davenport, Iowa, Moline, Illinois, Rock Island, Illinois, and then
Dubuque, right?
Dubuque,
okay,
Bettendorf, all those towns in the Quad Cities. But anyway, there was a bar there was doing a battle of bands, and we won the battle of bands. But the first prize was you get studio time with Jose, and God, there's something else. I can't remember what the other prize was, but that's irrelevant. So you got studio time with Jose, and then before we went to go into the studio with him, and again, this is before we knew Jose was. We never met him before. Before we went into the studio with him, he made a post on Facebook about wanting to do some summer sessions with Morgan. And we saw that, we jumped right on it, and Jose was like, "It's on, we're doing it." So it was just a very weird stream of events that happened. Just a random battle of the bands, and now we're meeting Morgan Rose of Sevendust, and here we are a few years later.
But that all kind of speaks to just taking the opportunities they come your way and not passing on them, because I mean, like winning that battle of bands, being able to work with Jose, and then all of a sudden seeing him post them about potentially or like doing summer sessions with Morgan Rose, and the fact you guys saw that, it's like, okay, we're just gonna jump on this right away. We're not gonna really second guess it. It's stuff like that is usually like the stories that I end up hearing where bands kind of just jump from one level to the next. It's like taking a certain opportunity that's there and just not necessarily trying to second guess on taking that opportunity.
Yeah, we didn't think doing anything with Jose would necessarily like do anything big for us. So then once you saw the thing with Morgan, like you said, we jumped on. We had to didn't even give it a second thought. We had to do it, and we weren't even sure if really anything was going to come about from that. But like I said, now we're here, and turned out to be that battle of bands. Turned out to be a pretty good choice to make.
It seems so, because like again, now with the EP out, with Full Circle out as well, just have it pulled up on, of course, Spotify as well. I do, because that's where I go for this stuff, and just like taking a look at the monthly listener count, just because again, like you said, it was out on August 28th. So that's when the first stuff kind of comes out. The monthly listener count at this moment is already at 38,000. So the fact that it's already like that high, just based off of only having a couple months worth of material on there, that speaks a lot of volumes to not only the quality of the material, but also, make sure that you guys are taking the most amount of opportunity as you can to basically put this stuff out there and get in the ears of people.
Without a doubt. And I mean, that's kind of the key in the music industry is connections. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it seems like you guys got it, because if I saw it correctly, it was like after that whole entire Sevendust show, you guys are able to play shows with bands like Buck Cherry and Adelita's Way. Am I right on that?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Man, I would say you guys were definitely like moving all of a sudden.
Yeah, and then COVID came along.
Yeah, right.
We were going up here, and then we just way down as far as the live shows go.
We actually
that was this past February that Buck Cherry show was.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
it was like right after.
Right before. Right before COVID.
Yeah, but then again, one thing to think about too is you're not the only band that's experienced that. Every band's experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Then once live shows come back, you guys are just have to like get back on it, and all of a sudden, just because again, when live shows come back, people are going to be just begging to go to this stuff, because it's something they haven't had in such a long time. It's like. It's kind of like if you have a dog and you go away for a week, and it's like they think you're gone forever, and all of a sudden you come back and they get super excited. Like that's what people are gonna be like when live shows come back.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. That's awesome.
And the best, and then the reason I know that is because that will actually be me. It's like it's when I see a live show going on, and be like, I'm there. Wait, don't you have this thing going on tonight? Don't give a shit anymore.
Oh yeah. We're planning to definitely, once everything opens back up, we're gonna hit it hard as we possibly can.
So do you guys have a little bit of a plan already in place on what you want to do, or is it kind of just keeping it open right now, just due to the fact that we're not necessarily sure what's going on?
Yeah, we're more so just keeping it open. Some of us might have ideas of what kind of shows or other things you might want to do, but it's just best to keep it open, because never really know what's going to happen. I mean, earlier when the COVID thing started, they were saying to be over by October, but here we are now in November.
Yep.
Can't really plan too far ahead for this situation right now.
And I think too, since we just had all of the releases happen, and just had our signing with Imagine, I think we're gonna it's probably good to wait out a little bit and see how everything goes before we make any touring plans, besides taking apart from the COVID thing and the fact that if you book anything, it could probably fall through in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
unfortunately, that's the case. But one thing that you can always remember, one thing you always think about too, is just when it comes to going forward, when you guys are able to start touring again, what kind of tours do you want to do? Do you want to do somewhere it's those independent runs that you guys would be doing, but at smaller venues, or would you think about potentially getting connected with some bigger acts and be like an opening act for a bigger band, so that though you're the opening act, you're gonna be going to bigger venues, getting your name and getting your music in front of more people? Because again, once live music comes back, people are gonna be dying to go to this stuff.
Yeah, I would think, um, man, I always thought trying to hop on, although it can be kind of difficult to hop on a tour with a bigger act would be the better way to do about it, even if it's just for like a week or whatever of the tour,
Yeah.
however long the actual tour would be, because we've seen bands that we know who are also local ones around who've done their own little, like you said, their own little tours and small venues, and that's that's fine and all, and I'm not against doing that. It's just uh to me, if you're going out on the road, you should try to, I guess, I don't know, it kind of sounds,
Maximize your audience.
yeah, kind of, yeah,
Like you,
maximize it, kind of make it worth it. If that's the, I don't know, that's a bad, it sounds like a shitty way to say it or not, but make it worth it, because obviously, like, we could be doing a lot of other things. Not to say that it's, we hate going out there and not making money or fans or whatever. No matter what, we're gonna have a good time. But it's just, like Nate said, maximizing your your reach.
but I feel like first and foremost, though, I always say it's, if I'll play anywhere, any show, just because that's the whole reason we do this, is to play music, and we love music.
Yeah,
So,
you get, you gotta
but
think sometimes
when it
too.
comes down to this, to the business, though, like that's, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
I'll
nitty
say
gritty.
yeah, I was gonna say it's something more of like trying to go out and make sure you maximize that potential, like basically maximize the potential value of the tour. So
Right.
if it comes to just, if it like, well, the value right now, especially for you guys, what I think would be the bigger value is getting on tour with a larger band that's an opening from that's playing in larger venues, due to the fact that you guys, people are going to be buying tickets because, of course, who the headliner is, but then you're getting your music out in front of a larger audience every single night versus
Mhm.
going to smaller venues where you're not going to get that big of a crowd. However, you're going to get people that are coming to see you guys. So it's all playing that basically what you guys want to do at that point, and also
Yeah,
what's available at the time too, because who knows what's going to happen, of course, once everything opens back up. Because I've spoken about this with a couple of other bands where I'm starting to see independent music venues start closing down, and it sucks. So
yeah,
my
it
biggest concern
does.
is all of a sudden what's going to happen with when everything starts coming back, and all of a sudden the supply of stages is low. Are the big
Yeah.
boys going to end up like basically swinging their weight around, and all of a sudden just being able to take some of these shows, and all of a sudden like venues that only have venues that aren't the rave, basically? It's like, because there's like places that only have like that one stage. It's like, well,
Yeah,
you can only have one band there that night, and if it's like you got a band that's going to be a guaranteed sellout versus a band that might sell out but you're not necessarily sure, they're going to take the guaranteed sellout, because
oh
they're going
yeah,
to be trying to make it's all like, it's going to be such a weird game to play. So basically it's just be open. Basically I was saying, like, just be open whatever happens. But if there's gonna be a band that's like a bigger band's like, hey guys, you want to go on tour with us, because they might be looking, because they might have had a tour scheduled to go on, like, maybe 2020 or maybe even after that, and the opening act they had maybe got a lot bigger, or maybe they just kind of went by the wayside, you never know, but there's a spot open. That's a perfect
Right.
time to be like, hey guys, that's us.
yeah. That's kind of the our mindset, trying to get that opportunity, trying to, like I said, get those connections, get tight with some people, and I I don't know how much like Imagine could do for that. I mean, that obviously the whole grand scheme is the tour, as well, but yeah, just touring is a big agenda, big thing on our agenda.
So, but make sure when you guys tour though that you guys play at one of the stages at the rave, because then I can be the guy, be like,
I would love that.
hey guys,
Yeah,
all of a
dude.
sudden, get smacked in the side by someone in a pit and be like, yay!
We'll be like, Vikings hoodie, get him out.
Yes.
Get him out, and all of a sudden be like, yeah, get him out, and there's gonna be me just going, Nate, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
As security's hauling me out, that's all you're gonna hear is, Nate, what the hell, man? And then after the show, you're gonna go on your phone. All of a sudden, you're gonna see a message from me. It's gonna say, Nate, seriously, what the hell, man?
Yeah, right.
It's like, are you mad? A little bit. That's the first we've been kicked out of the rave.
Yes.
It's like I don't know how I feel about this now.
I don't know. Is it possible to get kicked out of the rave?
I've seen
I've
it
seen
happen.
I've seen some
plenty of
stuff
times.
there.
I've seen it happen plenty of times. The last time I saw I saw Anti-Flag and Pennywise.
Yeah.
And there was a guy where it was like what happened to me when I would see After the Burial, where the guy was in the pit and just got this massive cut in his head. The thing was he wouldn't leave. And the people in the pit were like, dude, get out of here because you're bleeding over everybody. This is not a good thing.
Oh,
Right.
It's like, this is not only for your safety, but our safety as well. And the guy wouldn't leave, and the fans kind of had enough of it. So they were just like, kind of just getting, like, they're trying to take him out, and all of a sudden security came. It's like, whoa, come on, buddy, come outside. There was another one where it was some kid was walking with his shirt off, and he had some not very good tattoos. That's the best way I'm going to put it.
Yeah.
And he went up to somebody and was giving him crap, and it was just literally for no reason other than probably what these tattoos would have portrayed. And
Gotcha.
the guy and like people around him were just people around them was like getting pissed, like, dude, just leave this guy alone. And some guy just comes out of nowhere, hits, like, literally knocks the guy with the tattoos, just knocks him out cold. Guys on the floor, security comes, we all look. They look down at the floor. They look at us. We just pointed at the guy on the floor. They just pick him up. It's like, okay, let's go.
Wow.
It was one of the moments where I was like, huh, people do actually get kicked out of here. I was like, because most of the time whenever
get kicked out of the rave.
I was like, because most of the time
Good
whenever I see security grab somebody, it's because they're pulling them off of the crowd when they're crowd surfing, just they can send them off the side and be like, okay, that's where you go.
Right.
I think the only time they kick you out is like if they end up catching you crowd surfing like 7 or 8 times. It's like, okay, dude, we get it. We just don't want to have to deal with you anymore. But oh well, that happens. But I'd love to be able to see you guys play at the rave, whether it's the basement, whether it's the club, or whether it's the ballroom. Doesn't matter where it is.
Mhm.
And then also this, whenever I get a chance again to go see that pool again, just see all of a sudden Alborn sign the pool somewhere and be like, oh, I knew it.
Hopefully one day. Hopefully.
Yep.
I'll say just make it easy on me. Just put it right next to the Ice 9 Kills one because I know where that one is.
All right, we will.
And I'll put it this way: it ain't hard to find. So with
Ice 9 Kills.
Oh yeah. So with
Yeah,
2020 coming to an end and with 2021 jumping forward again, with the fact that we really have no idea what the hell to expect going forward with live shows, with what's happening with the music industry because of the coronavirus pandemic. What is your idea for going forward now? Not just with live shows, but because we talked about that, but with music. Are you guys gonna be working on music, releasing anything again anytime soon? If you guys have something that you can't talk about, again, just be like hush hush on that. Doesn't matter. But if it's somewhere, but just basically, like, what's the plan going forward for the rest of the year and into the beginning of next year?
I think we're just. Oh, sorry. What are you gonna say, Zane?
I mean, well, basically, we do plan to release more new music. As far as like the time schedule, I couldn't say right now. That's a little bit up in the air. Yeah, that's all I really had to say.
I mean, I think we're stockpiling in as many demos as we can in the home studio, and then they have a bunch of songs. Well, I said we have a bunch of songs, but the other 3 guys recorded a bunch of other songs that we have sitting that will get released at some point. But like you were saying, it's kind of nowadays is it better to release singles or is it better to release full EPs, albums? So it seems like everybody's releasing kind of singles. So I think there'll probably be more singles coming up at some point. I think we want to push Full Circle to its full extent first, and then we'll kind of wait for 2021 to come around, and hopefully we can start touring and everything. Because that's really, I mean, when you're pushing a single release, you want to be playing it live, to get it in people's heads and give them that memory and everything of the song. So,
But
anything else?
I'll say, but unfortunately, we can't have that right now because, damn you, COVID. You must have said that in this podcast, not just this episode, but all over the place since March. I'm getting sick and tired of it.
Yeah, man. Hear ya.
It's getting annoying, but I'm just hoping for the fact that once like we are able to get this through, hopefully sometime soon. So not only the fact that you guys can tour, you guys can get back into that, basically get back into that flow of touring, making music, get back into what you guys love, but then for me and the other fans, we can get back into the concert venues, get back outside, and all of a sudden just be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Maybe revive Warped Tour. Who the hell knows? But we'll see what happens.
That would be
Warped
awesome.
Tour.
Well, with Nate where the Vans had it just made sense to bring that up.
Oh,
I know.
Oh man,
It's so
Got that
disappointing
nostalgia
that
going.
they got rid of that.
Who knows?
Hung it up.
Who knows? Something might come back like it, just because it all depends upon how the music ends up growing through the next like year or two. And we'll see what happens, of course, with you're starting to see some more of that integrated into rock and metal. You're starting, like we said, with Post Malone doing that live stream, with MGK doing the pop punk album, with someone like Youngblood being featured on a Bring Me the Horizon track that actually went more like hard rock metalcore than more like what Youngblood done. So kind of bringing more of those fans into that kind of style. I can totally see maybe some more people starting to get into it. So all of a sudden, bring back Warped Tour, and all of a sudden people are gonna be standing out, in the 100-degree heat and humidity, just to see one of their favorite bands at like 2 p.m, because that would be me.
That's one of the most random things I've seen. I think it was Rockfest this year. It was either Rockfest or Riot Fest. Snoop Dogg was supposed to be headlining or something.
That was Rockfest.
Yeah, I thought that was the most random thing ever. But
really,
yeah,
I didn't see that.
awesome.
Huh.
Yeah. I think it's cool.
Well,
I would see that show. Yeah.
Well, now is the whole entire Rockfest album from 2020 has been they basically reconstructed the whole entire thing for 2021. They're pretty much bringing back the whole entire thing, and I'm doing my darndest to make sure that I am there in a Winnebago and have all my stuff with me, so I can try and get as many bands as possible to come hang out and do a quick little interview, have a beer. If you don't want a beer, if you like liquor, I'll have liquor. If you don't want any alcohol, I'll have water and Gatorade, whatever you want. Just make it a little enjoyable, and make sure there's air conditioning in there because it'll be middle of July.
Oh yeah,
I'll need that.
It'll be nice and toasty.
Also, to make sure my computer doesn't fry, that would be bad.
Oh yeah, it would suck.
Oh well, hopefully that doesn't happen. But
don't stop talking about it.
Yeah, I'll stop talking about it. Then who knows? All of a sudden, I'll try and get as many people as I can in the band. Next thing I know, I'm gonna get a request that's like, "Hey, Snoop Dogg wants to come talk to you." Be like, "Oh boy, alrighty,
here we go."
I was like, I haven't smoked weed in a long time, but I guess today is the day, folks.
Today's the day. So you're like, deep breaths.
It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, 'cause I was talking about with someone else, I was talking about with my friends, I'm like, you want to know what? It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what is. If someone like Snoop Dogg or Willie Nelson comes up to you and says, hey, you want to smoke this with me? You are absolutely obligated to say yes at that moment. Like you can't say no.
No. Don't care who you are, you gotta do it.
I don't care what it's gonna be. There's a whole on Gabriel Iglesias' last stand-up special, like he talks a story about how he went on Snoop Dogg's like YouTube TV show, and he offered him like the fattest joint ever. He's like, hey Fluffy, hit this shit. And you see, it's like, I saw my publicist like, no. It's like, but my son was like, yeah. like I'm sitting here, someone yell out, what'd you do? What'd you ask? What'd you do? What'd I do? I smoked that shit. Like, you don't not smoke with Snoop Dogg. My street cred would have been ruined.
Oh man, yeah. It's just like you can say to all your friends, excuse me, have you smoked a joint with Snoop Dogg? Don't think so. I'm the coolest.
Again, now that would definitely take my street cred from like right here to going off frame, but yeah, I would be way up there.
It would skyrocket.
Like,
I'd be the coolest guy in this block. Oh yeah.
I'm kind of a big deal if you didn't know.
Hand him a business card that says "Smoke joint with Snoop Dogg."
I feel like you know this, but I'm kind of a big deal. Spoke with Snoop Dogg. I also have many leather-bound books encased in rich mahogany. And then at that point, I will need to get a bookcase made of rich mahogany and have a bunch of leather-bound books in there just so I can make that joke and actually have it be true.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gotta be able to back it up.
Get on it.
Instead of having a wire racking with books of a standard hardcover variety. That's all I got. I'm sorry, guys. Put you down. Not that. There goes my street cred. Just all of a sudden, just.
Now you have to smoke the joint.
No, I have to. It's like a necessity at this point.
Yeah,
Where's Snoop? Where's Snoop when you need him?
Hopefully this shit'll end so that in July it'll be at Rockfest in Wisconsin and I'll be there, so and can somehow make that work. I don't know if it's possible, but I mean, if I get enough people to show up, I'll sense like, well, then maybe you can't say no to coming and hanging out with me. We'll see,
Zane, you remember me telling you Snoop? So I live right by it's a minor league baseball team stadium, but it's probably about a mile and a half away. And I want to say it was right before COVID hit. They had rented out they had put a stage out in the stadium, and it was Snoop Dogg and a Rockford local rapper and somebody else on the bill. And I didn't go to the show because it didn't get promoted in town at all. Like I never saw one thing about it until 2 days before, so I never got tickets.
Oh,
but I
man.
would love to go. But since it was only 2 miles from my house, a mile and a half, I could hear it from my driveway. So I just sat out there and listened. It was awesome.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Could you also smell it from your driveway?
What'd you say?
Could you also
Could I
smell
smell
it from
it?
your driveway? Yeah.
Not from the concert. Maybe from my own driveway. But
Hey man, you were there in spirit. That's all that matters.
Yep.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens at Rockfest. Like, I take a look at the lineup. It was like on Friday night, it's like Disturbed's headlining. Then Saturday night, it's Snoop Dogg and Limp Bizkit. I'm just like, okay. I don't remember who's headlining on Sunday. It might be
and
Tool,
Limp
honestly.
Bizkit too.
Yeah, and Limp Bizkit.
Oh, the Biz? Oh my god.
So all of a sudden, Limp Bizkit's gonna be playing "Rollin'," and all of a sudden, you're gonna see Snoop Dogg. I'd say keep rolling. Now that would definitely be a show to see. Just to see that moment, I'd just make sure I get a capture on camera. It's like, what? We got Limp Bizkit playing "Rollin'" while Snoop is literally rolling a joint on stage. The irony is crazy, guys. Well, all of a sudden, all my friends are gonna be back at like their like little campsite. Like, we didn't feel like going. What happened? I'd be like, this happened. Show my phone, and it's like, we missed that. Yeah, you guys want to stay back and drink while I did that. Ha!
Sounds like a very Snoop Dogg thing to do.
But he's kind of a big deal, so
Yeah.
He's definitely the kind of guy that has those many leather-bound books in case in the rich mahogany.
yeah,
So
yes, he does.
He for sure does.
he definitely does. So yeah, maybe we'll see what happens. I might have to get a little. I'll get a little like mahogany bookcase for that little van and just put like 2 leather-bound books in there just so I can say that line and be like, hey, it's true. It's not like what you're expecting, but
It's
leather-bound books.
bare minimum,
too.
but it works.
They're encased in mahogany, so it kind of works. But it's got to be like some. it's got to be like some like really like. It's got to be some books that just make absolutely no sense. So it got to be like I'm trying to think of like 2 good ones. Like one's got to be like a leather-bound bookcase, like like all the tales of Curious George, and the other just has to be the dictionary.
There you go.
There you go.
Just makes no sense, but it's just like, who really cares? The whole thing doesn't make.
You
any
got
sense. That's how I get them. Oh yeah. Well, guys, because we're kind of coming up to it's getting to be a little bit later in the evening, coming past like an hour and a half mark. We really went in deep with a lot of this stuff. I was glad I got to hear all about you guys getting to be able to work with Morgan Rose from Sevendust and how you guys were able to build that relationship up with him as well. And also just kind of talk about all those good times of concerts, reminiscing about the rave again. Memories.
Oh man.
Yeah, nostalgia.
Need them back.
Again. Need them back. That's what we need live music back so we can get those memories back. And well,
back in my day.
Or not necessarily get those memories back, but keep
Yeah,
building
back
on
in
those.
my day when they used to have concerts.
Back in my day when we used to be able to go in mosh pits.
Yeah.
And not to be 6 feet apart. It's like everyone's gonna be crowd killing, but it's gonna be like by themselves. See this little circle. That kind of stuff. But guys, it was incredible talking to you. And before we close out this podcast, I want to let you guys have a chance to be like, give any last words, whatever you guys want to say about the band or whatever you guys want to say about anything else. The floor is yours, so I'll let you guys give it a go. So Zame, Nate, whoever wants to go first, like we did with the beginning with the whole entire wacky fact kind of thing. But this time, just plug whatever the hell you guys want to plug. Say whatever you want to say, no matter what. Go for it.
Well, all I really gotta say is, just stay safe. More Alborn content, hopefully coming soon, and we really hope have live shows open back up because we can't wait. We just can't wait to start playing again. We miss them and going to shows too. We need them back. That's all I really have to say. Good way, Nate.
Yeah, we definitely we need our Alborn family back.
We do.
One, we want to say much appreciation to everyone that's been promoting the song for us.
The support has been wild.
Nothing short of incredible. But yeah, check us out if you haven't heard of us. Check us out on Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple Music.
We're on all that shiz.
Yep.
Everything. www.albornmusic.com.
And guys, when it comes to finding Alborn on all those places, when it comes to getting their music, listening to it, finding them online, wherever it might be, you guys won't have to go very far because just take a look at the description of the podcast or the YouTube video as well. Every single link for Alborn that I can find is going to be there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. If they're on Amazon Music, I'll find it. Their website where you can buy their merch, I'll find it. So it's literally, you get that like one-stop shop. You can either tap it or click it, whatever the heck you guys got. So when it comes to getting into Alborn, for those of you that are listening to this that are already in Alborn, hey, way to go. For all of you listening now that haven't heard of Alborn yet, click on those links. Get in with them now because you won't be disappointed. And I want to say that in a creepy voice for some reason. Kind of like Michael Keaton. I don't know. Not like Beetlejuice. Really took that into a different way. But yes, please be in the know with Alborn because once live shows come back, you're most likely going to end up seeing these guys pop up at a town near you because, I feel like these guys are going to end up getting on that train again. And all of a sudden, when I talk about that like gradual growth, no. These guys, I feel like they're going to have that exponential growth where all of a sudden it's going to start picking up and just really take off. So make sure you get to know with them now before it is too late to break to your friends and say, I was into them before you were. So, yeah.
Bragging rights.
It's all about the bragging rights, man. Well, Nate, Zame, again, I want to thank you guys for being on the podcast once again. And once all this stuff kind of clears up with COVID and everything, if I see you guys coming around the good old Milwaukee area for a live show, if I see you guys playing a show around Chicago or in Rockford, because I want to say it's specific for Nate, or in Rockford, because it's actually easier for me to get to Rockford than Chicago, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, well, mostly because of less tolls. Yeah. Or if you guys are playing like in Madison, Wisconsin, or all the way up in Minneapolis, because I went to school up there, got friends up there that I can crash with. So if I see you guys playing anywhere near there, and you see some weird guy in like a backwards hat, maybe a Vikings hoodie, maybe something else, and all of a sudden, if Nate's like, hey, kick that guy out, and you hear, Nate, what the hell, man? Then you guys know it's me.
We actually played a show in Minneapolis in March, actually, right before COVID. That's funny. So you might be able to catch us there.
Might be able
to. See.
I feel like I'll be able to catch you closer to home, honestly.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's easier ways. Yeah,
I think that might be easier. So, because I would love to see you guys play live, I cannot for the good conscience of me end this with a goodbye because I think that insinuates like, okay, it's over kind of thing. But I want to see you guys play live. I want to see this happen after COVID, and so I can't say goodbye. So I'm gonna say my favorite thing.
Hell yeah!
See you guys later.
See ya. Thanks
Sounds
for having
good,
us.
man. Thanks for having us, dude.
You're welcome. Thanks for being on. See ya. Whoa, folks. That was my interview with Zame and Nate from the band Alborn out of Illinois. And it was great talking with them and hearing about how they got in the know with Morgan Rose. And due to the fact that them knowing what they wanted to go for and them being confident enough and not afraid to say no to him really gained his respect. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. Plus, I found out after the podcast that when we kept talking about, Nate being like, get him out of here. I thought that he was talking about actually like just throwing me out of the show because it'd be funny. He thought it was because I was going to be bleeding the mosh pit already. And I'm just like, it kind of actually worked out between the two of us already in the podcast. So that's a little ending note for you guys. But please stay in the know with Alborn. Again, take a look at all the links for the description of this podcast. You'll find anything Alborn there. Get to know with them. If you like bands like Deftones, Alice in Chains, Sevendust, you won't be disappointed. And that's going to be for you today, guys. Thank you guys for watching and listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. Protect MSOTD rocks or rock and roll thrive. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one of these episodes with a big, healthy, and hearty see ya.